I think once you like develop a mindset of nothing is going to stop me and I will figure it out, like you become dangerously unstoppable.
Now that I've lived a little bit, I understand it's not rainbows and butterflies. And I'm thankful for it though, because I feel like I have become a completely different person.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I have my pity parties at times, but like I'm still like so focused on like what's next.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Device Girls. We sure are loving this new studio.
Absolutely.
But today we have a very special episode. So we always interview other people, but I know you guys are wondering, who are the Device Girls?
Yeah.
So today, Sarah and I are going to interview each other.
We are building a community and we are so excited to get to know all of you guys better. And so since this is now season 4, we feel like it's time to do a little refresh and get to know us. And we're so excited. So.
All right, Sarah, who were you as a kid? What was your personality?
So I was kind of girly girl, but I did like to play sports and like play outside. Like I wasn't scared of getting dirty, but I was the girly girl compared to my sister because she was like mega tomboy.
Okay.
I was like my favorite games to play when I was a kid. I loved to play teacher or like mom and dad, like play house. Those were like my top 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So what about you?
So I had 2 brothers, and so I was kind of bullied my whole life, to be honest. And so I definitely was like girly girl, but I was like a gymnast. I did dance.
Mm-hmm.
I did soccer for a little bit, and then sorry, Dad, but you made me hate soccer because you were my coach. But anyway, so I was kind of a mix of tomboy / girly girl, because I would go run around with my brothers in the neighborhood with all their friends, and like I'd be out there on, you remember Razor scooters?
Oh yeah.
I love those things. Like I'd be doing jumps, everything. So I just like did that. But yeah. So I was kind of like a mix, but I was way more shy than I am now.
Really? I was not shy.
Not so like closet shy that I wouldn't talk to anybody, but I was very quiet. Yeah. Whereas like I have definitely found my voice now.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I've definitely always been a vocal one. Just like loud, proud, and ready to yap. But now that's fine. Okay. Next.
What was teenage you like?
I was actually, and like, I think my parents will say this now, but back then they were like, she was a horrible child. But now when they like, see, I was the middle child. I have middle child syndrome. I know my sister just never got caught, right? She never got caught for the things that she would do. But I was actually a good kid that really didn't do anything wrong. I think like I snuck out one time to go see a PG-13 movie.
Oh, heck yeah.
And the only reason my parents told me I couldn't go was because I couldn't be in the car with somebody who hadn't had their license for more than 6 months. Because we had just turned 16. Like that's a dumb rule. Okay. Anyways, so my parents realized, I think, that they were a little bit more uptight and strict with me than they were with the other 2. But I made good grades. I didn't get in trouble. Like I was in a Bible study, didn't do drugs. Like, okay, I did drink like twice in high school, but like I was a good teenager. Like all in all, like I was not a bad kid. And that was like my senior year. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I was a good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what's funny? My parents were not like super strict, but for whatever reason, I don't know. They were still hard on me. Like I still had to get, like I had all A's and all of that. And so I don't know why, but I was like always afraid to do certain things or like ask them to go do certain things. Because I feel like they would say no, but my parents really weren't that strict. So I had my fair share of just like
fun.
Oh, I'm going over to Paitlin. I'm calling you out. It's Paitlin's house. And then we would just like go to a party. Yeah. There was one time, I'll tell this funny story right now because I know you're going to ask me about unhinged stories. So we go to this party and like, this was probably like my first high school party. Okay. So I'm like, oh my God, freaking out. Like everyone's drinking. the music's loud. And like, I'm
Uh-huh.
talking this neighborhood, like the houses are like right next to each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, this thing's going to get busted. There's like, I don't know, 40 high schoolers like packed into
Oh my
this
God,
house,
that's
like
a big
sardines,
party.
and people out in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And where I grew up, like the cops, they'd hang around a lot. So
Yeah.
like you couldn't just get away with it. So we're all hanging out, music's loud, and I like get this inkling and I'm like, Caitlin, I think we should leave. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm freaking out in terms of my anxiety, like it is through the roof. So anyway, we drive off, and I had at the time my little tiny Fiat. Okay, guys, I used to drive a little Fiat 500. I don't know why when I turned 16, I was like, that's the car I want. Looking back, I'm like, why? Anyway, that was the worst decision I ever made. But it was a good car. We loved Pearl. So
Pearl. We fit a lot of people in Pearl.
we have about 5, I think.
I think it was more than that. And one of them is like 6'4". Like, that's crazy.
We did do that. So we drive off and leave. Well, Paitlin's cousin, I won't say his name on here. He went to high school with us.
Uh-huh.
He's still at the party. We told him to leave with us. Because next thing we know, we're driving down the road. Cops are going the other direction to the house.
And
so
just in time.
All of a sudden, all these kids just running everywhere. I mean, they're jumping under cars and hiding, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls and we're like, we're down the road, whatever. He's like, I'm sprinting to you right now.
Yeah.
So he's running, and I kid you not, I'm driving down the road and he like runs out in front of my car. I almost hit him. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're like, car's moving, and he's jumping in the car as the car's moving because
Mhm.
I'm afraid a cop's going to come pull me over.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was like one of my most like memorable stories just from partying in high school. But
actually, when now you say that, I did run over my friend's foot in college. Like, I ran her over twice.
how?
Because like I was dropping her off at the dorm. We had gone to eat. This was like freshman or sophomore year. I used to call her Chicken Nugget. Holly, I love you. I used to call her my little chicken nugget, and like we would like talk like my new chicken nugget. And she was getting out of the car, and I was like, okay, bye, my little chicken nugget. I love you. And she's like, goodbye, girlfriend. Don't you move a muscle. Because she had to get out of she got out of the passenger seat and then walked around to the back, like the back seat. And so like, she was getting her backpack and stuff. And I thought she had it and was starting to shut the door. So I just started to go. And meanwhile, she was still right there. And her foot was like under my tire. And so I like ran over it, and she started like, Giffen, can you stop the car? And so I like just stopped. So meanwhile, I've like rolled pretty much over her foot, but then she said stop. So I stopped. So then I'm parked my car on her foot. And she goes, Giffen, can you please get your foot or your car off of my foot? Please, thank you. So I just back up naturally because I'm like, oh my God.
Sarah.
I'm so sorry. And I was so scared. I was like,
Did she break her foot?
No. She hobbled in there though. I tell you what, I was like, do you need me to take you to the ER? She goes, I will be fine. She walked in. I was like, oh my God. I'm so sorry.
I just snorted. That's funny.
So, but I was a good kid. And I will say one thing about me that my dad and my parents always said, like, they didn't know that they were grooming me to work in sales, because they're like, you just don't register with the word no, do you? I'm like, no. But you have to be that way to be in sales. So I'm like, you know what? You can think it might be negative, but it's actually a positive thing. So
I love that.
Yeah. Who were you before the world told you who to be?
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's get into it, guys. I have always been a very like old soul, is how I would describe it. And I don't want to say like naive, but kind of. Like I don't know how to put this into words, but like I always had a very like kind soul, and not that I'm not a kind soul anymore, but like what I was saying, like when I was younger and like my personality, like I think I was a little naive in some ways just to how not cruel, but cruel the world can be. And I always just felt like the world was just like a little rom-com movie or like, you know, a little any happy movie you would watch. Like that's just who I've always been. Yeah. And since I've lived a little bit now, getting kind of old.
Whatever.
Birthday's this month.
January 20th. Happy birthday.
Now that I've lived a little bit, I understand it's not rainbows and butterflies. And I'm thankful for it though, because I feel like I have become a completely different person. A lot of that's been through like work experiences or relationships, friendships. Even like one thing I've been like talking about a lot with just a lot of people is like growing up and being an adult and handling like your relationship with your parents too. It's such a weird thing because you like the dynamic kind of like switches. So anyway, that's a tangent, but so yeah, I was just like a little naive, little shy little girl.
No, you're not.
So what about you?
I think that even though like I was an outgoing, like bubbly personality that I loved to be in the social settings and I think I was like kind of a people pleaser too. And
I was too.
Yeah. And I think I would apologize like way too much and just kind of not conform. Like I never like was fine with like somebody bullying somebody and like, you know, that kind of thing, but just trying to fit in. And now like, I just feel as though I'm so grounded in who I am and who I am in Christ. And like, I don't apologize for who I am. And I'm super confident in that. And I also don't apologize for the boundaries and like the goals that I have set and the things that I want to do and accomplish. Like I'm so laser focused on it, and I'm okay with setting the boundaries and like not, you know, having the outside noise or the outside activities that distract me from the things that I want to do and my family. And so I just think I'm just so much more confident in who I am. And I don't know, like, I mean, I love who I'm becoming. Like, I mean, I still have a long way to go, but I love who I'm becoming. And so I just think, and I think too, you know, like growing up, like my relationship with the Lord, I mean, I always grew up in church and like we practically lived at church because my dad worked there too. And so, but it's so different, like having your own walk and your own, relationship. And it's something that you're actively pursuing. It's not something that you're just being forced to go do. And, it's just like another activity of your day where like now, and I think that's really like helped shape me to who I'm becoming. And so,
okay, two things you said here that I like and I want to talk about. First one, I totally agree with you because I was the same exact way. I cared so much when I was younger about what everybody thought about me. And I don't know if it was the dynamics of where I grew up, but I wanted to be in the cool crowd and I wanted to hang out with everybody. And I always got my feelings so hurt if nobody invited me to like the parties or what was going on. Like,
and now I could care less.
Oh yeah. I remember countless times I would like sit there and cry to my mom. Like, and now I look back and I'm like, why did I care?
I know.
Like, seriously, I genuinely, I don't care. And I've gotten so much better about this, like with the podcast and like my bodybuilding stuff. Like, I don't care what I put out there. Like, okay, yes, I do. Obviously, I'm not being like scandalous or something, but I'm just saying like, I don't care anymore what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do me. You can sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show.
I just,
you know?
I feel as though I've just started to build like a circle of friends that, and it's like, it's a small circle,
Me
right?
too.
And I'm totally happy with that and like super content with that because those are the people that know my heart, know my intentions. Like, I don't have to apologize if I don't text you back for 4 weeks because like I'm so busy and like swamped with work or
Same.
swamped with this or blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I think like the relationships too that like and like friendships that I am in right now, I think everybody is just like, I feel like the word grace and understanding, you know, and like just loving, like everybody just has a pure heart and like just shows grace to each other. And so like, I don't know. It's allowed me to like learn to be unapologetically me. And so,
well, one thing I've found too with like adult relationships, which is really weird, but I've gotten to the point, and this is like with any type of relationship in my life, and I tell you this all the time, so you know this about me, but I'm not going to beg anybody to be in my life anymore. And one thing I've found a lot with, especially with girlfriends, is like I can sit there and reach out to you a couple times and try and like keep the thread alive with a friend. Cool. But phone goes both ways. And if I don't feel like it's being reciprocated, like, cool, I don't need you in my life. Like, I want you there as a friend if you're going to show up for me as I show up for you. But I'm content by myself. I really don't need anybody, but you know, so, but I just think it's so weird because I don't know what it is, maybe with our culture these days or what, but I just feel like you said, like my circle is super small and I keep it that way for a reason because I don't want to waste my time with friends that aren't going to sit back and be a true friend back to me, you know?
Yeah.
But all that to say, another thing that you brought up, which I really like, is relationship with God, because I grew up differently than you. My parents, I mean, they took me to church. I won't say that they didn't, but I kind of ventured off into my own thing a little bit. I was in a youth group from middle school to high school. I loved that, but I still, even in that, I didn't really have like a relationship with God. Like I would sit there and like read stuff from the Bible and I was just like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, I'm living this. Like, no, I wasn't actually.
Yeah.
And now as I've gotten older, especially more like I would say in the past, year? I mean, because you've watched it. I actually have a relationship with him. Like if I'm bored, I'm sitting there talking to him. Like if I'm doing my cardio every single morning, I'm talking to God. Like I just am having a random conversation. And like I've actually sat down with my Bible and like deep dived into it and like just things that I've never like sat there and done before. I've gone to church every Sunday. Like I don't know. And I feel much happier because of it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right there with you, sister.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Proud of you.
Okay. What experience shaped the way you love people today?
Experience. Oh my gosh.
I can go and answer this question too.
You answer first.
Okay. So when I was young, I went through like a season in late elementary school of being bullied, like really, really badly. And I think that plus I have just always had, I actually was telling a friend this the other day, I've just always had like a really big heart for like special needs and then children. And so, and like those were kind of in different seasons of my life. Like when I was young, I like just really had like just a soft spot in my heart for special needs kids. And then I think that combined with the bullying just really like showed me how I want to treat people and how I'm going to treat people. And I think like early on too, I will say that like I would be the kid that would get up from the lunch table and go sit with somebody sitting by themselves or like a special needs kid and like be willing to, you know, go talk with them or sit with them or eat lunch with them. And because I think like the bullying also is what really shaped like how I saw, I mean, I didn't want to be treated like that. And I feel like that can go both ways. Like you can either take that and then treat people poorly because you're being treated poorly. But I mean, I thankfully was in a place where like I came home to like a really loving family and And so I was just able to be grounded in that and feel the love in my home, where then I could still exude that when I went and had to face like the hard and the bullies and stuff. But I think like that really showed me at a young age how I want to like love people and treat people in life. And so I don't know. I mean, I feel like I try really hard to be a good friend and to love others. But yeah.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. Some like for me, but I feel like people that are in healthcare, like we just kind of have this like innate heart for like helping people.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's like pinpointed to one experience really. Like, but I mean, I grew up in a good home. Like my parents were loving, took care of me. But like experience wise, I just think it's a combination of like life, but I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, I've always had just like an old soul. It's just like who I am.
Yeah.
I will say though, like something that always gets me, and I don't really know why, and I'll be honest, I don't always like do anything about it, but every time I see like homeless people, and I know people like sit there and, well, they got themselves in that situation. They could go to work, blah, 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 blah. Well, what makes me most sad is a lot of them are like veterans who are just so like messed up in their head. But anyway, actually yesterday I was driving right past the hospital and I saw this guy who was in a neck brace and it looked like he had like a bag from the hospital or whatever. He's crossing the street and he was an old man too. And I was looking at him. I'm like, please don't tell me he's a homeless man or something. And they just released him to the street like that with a neck brace and all and just like left him like that.
At the hospital?
No, he was like, I don't know, but it was like he was walking, left the hospital, crossing like at the crosswalk at the light. And like, I'm like, where are you going, bud? Like, you know, but I felt so badly. I almost like pulled over and like did something for him. And then the other night I was at the gas station, which is probably not a good idea of me. I didn't do it, but there was a homeless guy literally like I was getting gas and he was digging through the trash can looking for just scraps of food. And I had some rice cakes or something in my car and I so badly, like I almost got out and gave them to him, but I was a little scared, but I don't know. Anyway, homeless people just like touch my heart in like a different way. And sometimes I do something about it, but I dated this guy in high school and his aunt. Okay, this is a good experience actually that I'll share. She loved helping the homeless and like she does super well for herself. She's well off. And so I went with her a couple times, but there was one time and there was this guy that you could tell he wasn't doing well, whatever. But we went and brought him like a burger and stuff and we sat down and talked to him. And he had the sweetest soul and he was just the sweetest man, but you could tell he was just scared of life.
Yeah.
And like I had a lot of conversations with her actually about that. And she said majority of the people she would help, because there's a big like homeless community where she's at, they're scared to get in a car. They're scared to go to the doctor. They're scared to just like live. And so I think for me, like I've developed just a different perspective around it. And that's changed like the way that I love anybody, honestly, because like they have nothing. So
it's true. And then like going on mission trips, I would go on mission trips like my whole life. Every summer we'd do multiple. And I mean, just seeing like how other countries lived. One day we went on it's called the Noah's Ark Project. And they have this farm. And so basically you can raise money at your church and a lot of money and try to buy different animals. So that way you can they'll send, the Noah's Ark Project will actually send an animal to, provide food. So like chickens and cows and goats and all of this. And so, but with that, so once you do your fundraising and then you donate however many animals or whatever, but there's a ranch you can go to. Gosh, and I can't remember. I want to say it was in Arkansas. I can't remember. But, and I don't even know if they're still operating, but I would hope so. It was such a incredible experience though, because I remember, so they set up this like ranch or camp in different countries, right? So they have and then they split you up into groups when you go. And there's one person that has to be injured, right? So like they have a broken leg and they can only use one of their legs the entire time. So it's one overnight thing, like stay. And then you can, you are given X amount of food and a specific food. So like the country I was placed in was Uganda. Okay. Which is like a really, really hard, like it's a rough third world country. And so like the shelter that I had to stay in that night was like literally a shack with holes in it. It was so cold. There was a campfire. The only food that we had and we were given was rice. And so then we could go and like trade with other, communities to try to get other food and more food. And so we had rice, boys slept outside, girls slept in the shack. I mean, it was, and then our bathroom was literally a square in the floor. And so it's just like a good experience and reminder for you to remember, how fortunate you are.
Yeah.
And, that we're over here bargaining for food and, you squatting in a, hole in the ground. And there are so many people in the world that do that. And we're fortunate enough to come home to beds every night. And so like things like that and like various mission trips that I went on that you can just see like the way the Lord is just working, and how fortunate you are and that make you appreciate it. And so those are a lot of like instances too that shaped me.
No, I agree. I think like for me, like, okay, let's just talk about this in like the best way I know how to like describe it is like, okay, from like a dating perspective. Okay. So like for me, like my love language is not like gifts and like materialistic things and like buy me this, buy me that, whatever. I don't really care about that. Like I can buy myself things, honestly, like, but I don't even care about buying them for myself. But it's more of like the little things of like, I don't know, leaving a sweet note or like writing a letter or like expressing like love. And I think that's just how like I also love people. I love gift giving too, but it's just like for me, I feel like that is a gift itself. Yeah. Like just like giving someone your love in that way or like friends or just like random strangers or like we've talked about this before, like when I go in the hospital, like I like to be happy, bubbly, whatever, like brighten everybody's day, So, but sorry, I didn't mean to talk about dating, but like, that's just the best way I know how to like describe it for me. And I think a lot of people forget that because like at the end of the day, and I love when I see quotes like this on Instagram, but it's like, when you leave this earth, what you take with you is your soul and the memories that you had and the people that you spent them with. And that is it. Yeah. Everything else doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't care what kind of house you live in, what car you drive, how much money you have, I love people for how they show up, how they love others and how they treat other people. So
yeah, I agree.
What is the funniest misunderstanding you've ever caused?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So in college, every semester I'd buy my books. I was originally a nursing major. And so, you have to have a scientific calculator. Those are expensive. And, I know this. Oh my God. I was in my nursing chem class. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And mind you, for the last literal 5 semesters, I don't know, 4 semesters, I don't know. Every semester, somehow I ended up having to buy a new scientific calculator because I lost mine. And my dad had been like, I am not buying you one more calculator. Like, keep track of your shit.
Did you have the pink one?
At one point I did. But then,
and
like,
then you lost it.
Yeah, then I lost it. And I had like a white, or like a gray, I don't know. But then I had a lot of black ones. Anyways, yeah, lots of black ones. Anyways, so this one that I had was a black one, right? And my dad literally and I had this conversation like a week before this happened. Okay. So I'm sitting next to this sweet angel of a man that I didn't know was a sweet angel of a man in my chemistry class. And I'm, you know, like we're using our calculators and whatnot. Well, that next day, I was using mine. He didn't have one. Okay. And that next day or two, like, I could not find mine anywhere. And he had my calculator. And he never had a calculator, right? Okay, so he never had one. I had mine. And then all of a sudden, I don't have mine. And he has the exact same one.
So naturally, you're like...
So naturally, I was like, because I'd like, you know, like sometimes let him borrow and whatnot. And I was like racking my brain. I thought I had taken it to my parents and used it when I was like doing homework over there one night. And I could not. I went over there. I tore their house upside down because I'm like, my daughter's gonna kill me. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, like me being me, like I wasn't rude, but I was finally like, oh God, I don't have like the extra, whatever it was right now. Like I'm a broke college kid. I need a calculator. Like I'm going to fail this test. And so I was like, okay, I like internalized this for like 3-4 days. And it was like, okay, I have to ask him. Like, and so I go to class Sunday and I was like, hey, this is like really awkward, but is that my calculator? Because, yeah, like, you know, you haven't had one and then like mine goes missing. And I was like, you don't understand. Like my dad's going to kill me. I was like, did you take my calculator? I was like, it's okay. Yeah. And he was just like, no, but he looked at me and then he just like slid it over and gave it to me. So then I'm like, this is weird. He's like, I didn't take it, but okay. And like just like handed it to me. And like he wasn't like rude about it, but it was like weird. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry.
Well, if you didn't take it, then why are you giving it back to me?
That's what I was like. I'm like, I would not give somebody my $100 whatever calculator if I didn't take their calculator. And so I was like, this kid took my calculator, then looked me in the face and said no. Anyways, the next day he like comes with a calculator and he goes, I just want you to know, like, I really didn't take your calculator. And I like then told my girlfriend or my 2 girlfriends like that I lived with that I'm like, I know this kid had to take, like, why would he, you know, give me a calculator that's not my calculator? Anyway, so it was a big misunderstanding. I felt bad because then I like had this whole conversation with like my girlfriends and kind of, it wasn't like I dogged him, but then I'm like, thief, you know what I mean? I don't know. But, and so, yeah. So then he comes back the next day. He's like, well, I'm a pharmacy tech and I can get these for free. So I just figured I'd give it to you. And I was like, I'm a piece of shit. I was like, okay. Yeah. And then I made my 2 girlfriends think that like this kid stole my calculator. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So I was like, what is your favorite candy? What is your favorite? And I like brought him like stuff to class. It was like, I'm so sorry. And I like literally told my whole class, I was like, I stole actually his calculator in case you're wondering. He's just a good person. Apparently I'm not.
He gave it to me.
Yeah. It was like, so but that was like a really awkward misunderstanding that I caused. Oh, that was the part of it. Okay. So here's the thing. This is how I knew he didn't steal my calculator. I didn't have this conversation with him. He did tell me, he was like, well, I'm a pharmacy tech. I can like get these calculators for free, but I still didn't believe him. It was like a week And then I found my calculator in the couch cushions of my parents' couch. That's why. And then I knew I obviously had taken his calculator and he actually didn't steal my calculator. And he was being honest because like I still was kind of like, okay, you know. But then I felt, that's why I felt so bad. I was like, I literally stole this kid's calculator and accused him of stealing my calculator. And he's just a good person. So.
Well, I'm glad you figured that
out. Yeah. So I give it back. Well, I gave him his back because then I found mine. So, and he was like, no, you can keep it because clearly you can't keep up with it. It's like, you're a doll. So that's yeah.
I don't have a unhinged, or what was the question? The biggest misunderstanding?
Yeah, the funniest misunderstanding you caused.
I don't know. I can't think of one right now.
Yeah. How would you describe the season of life you're in right now?
That's a good question, actually. Let's see. I would say I'm very much and I don't mean this in a selfish way, but I'm just in a very like me era. And by that, I mean like focusing on work, the podcast, other things we're building. I'm in prep for a bodybuilding show right now. So I'm just very like, I'm doing me, focusing on my dreams, my goals, what I want to accomplish in the next year. Like I have a lot of crazy delusional maybe dreams, but they're going to happen. And so like for me, I'm just very, and I'm also focusing a lot on my relationship with God. Like, and so head down, grinding, trying to just work my butt off this year. I mean, I'm about to be 26. I really want to like get a lot of things in order this year and just. You're
young. You're so young.
I know that, but it's like,
I don't know. Maybe that's
we always talk about this.
I know.
And everybody always says that, but it's just like, you know, and obviously I want to like live a little bit, but I kind of just want to chase after those things this year.
Yeah.
So that way, like next year I can live a little. Because you and I both talk about this all the time. Like we know would I love to be going on trips to like Mexico and blah, blah, blah and everything right now? Sure. But it's worth all the grind time and everything right now. And especially with like everything we're building plus like my bodybuilding, everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's so much, blah, blah, blah. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, cool. It might be a lot to you, but like, I'm here for it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just very much in a like, maybe it is selfish of me. I don't know, but I'm just grind mode, focusing on me. And I've never been happier. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I've also, like, as I've grown in my relationship with God, I've just put like my full, you know, a lot of people can sit there and say, oh God, I trust your plan, whatever. But like, sometimes you're not living it. No, like I legit say it, do it, believe it, everything. Like if something doesn't go my way, I'm like, must not be your plan, God. And I'm just like, keep moving. So
yeah, I agree. No, I agree with all that. Cause I feel like I'm in that same season of just focusing on.
And just what makes me happy. I'm not trying to please anybody. I'm not here to make anybody else happy.
Yeah.
But myself.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I just really feel like like I said, know who I am in Christ. Like I know like who I want to be as a wife, who I want to be as a mom, who I want to be as a med rep, as, you know, a podcast co-host, as a friend. And so like as a daughter. And so I just, I have like those things those things that I'm focusing on. And I just if I'm tunnel visioned and isolated from the rest of the world to solely focus on that, like I'm happy. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah,
so
me too. And for me, since I'm not married and everything like Sarah, that's not to say if somebody great comes along, like cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like, I'm still just doing me and I'm happy. So, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I love being in a season of building too. Cause I mean,
it's awesome.
I don't know. I love to learn new things. I love to grow. I love like Hailey and I say this all the time, like think about where we're going to be in a year. Yeah. And like, I personally, I mean, don't get me wrong. Hailey and I both went through hardships of different, scales and like different things in 2025.
It's like at the same time. Actually,
well, it's like it was like
let's back it up because
it's like you me.
Okay, let's talk about this a little bit actually, because I'll be honest, last year was probably one of the worst years I've had.
Really?
But also one of the best.
Okay.
And let me explain this, because yes, I went through all of those things, but also at the same time, I feel like without those things, I would not be the woman I am today.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I feel like January 2025 Hailey to, let's just say now, January 2026 Hailey, I am a completely different person.
Yeah.
So it was an awful year. I won't discount that. There were some great parts too.
Yeah.
And by great parts, I mean, like, we started our podcast and all the things that we're building. But other than that, it kind of sucked. So anyway, but yeah. And I also discovered a lot, like, who are my real friends truly, and who aren't. Filtered people out.
Same.
Figured out who's going to be there for me, who's not. And like anybody else, I don't need.
Yeah.
Keep my circle small.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like,
see, I'm like, I don't know, even though each year has presented different seasons of lots of hardship or, just like lessons. I mean, hard lessons or like emotional lessons or whatever lessons, nonetheless. But I just feel as though I think like just my mindset, I'm so in like a headspace of what, Lord, are you trying to teach me in this season? Yes. And keeping like an open mind and staying positive of like, okay, this is freaking hard. This sucks. Like you could sit there and have a pity party like life is over, but what is the point of that? It's like, no, I'm focused on, again, these XYZ things. Yeah. And there's a reason why I'm experiencing this or going through this. I not always know exactly what that lesson is until quite a ways down the road, and understand it. But I've just really been able to lean into like trusting God's plan and God's timing for my life. And so I was so excited for 2025. And even though 2025 had hardships and lessons, like it was single-handedly like the best year of my life. Like, I mean, and 2026 is going to be even better. Like I'm so excited, whether it's the hardships, the new lessons, or all the good to come from 2026. I just feel as though bring it on, baby.
Let's kind of tie it up with this. But I was going to say, I feel like one thing that you and I both, like, we get along so well because of this, and we both are just this way, is like, no matter what comes our way, what hardships, what lessons, or whatever we may be going through. And I know that not everybody's this way, but you and I are. And I think it's like phenomenal. We just keep going.
Yeah.
Like we push through. It doesn't
figure
matter.
It out.
Keep treading water. And I don't know, because we've had conversations about this before. Like it's sometimes hard for us to like sympathize with others because we just like don't let things like get us down in the dumps.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my pity parties at times, but like, I'm still like so focused on like what's next. What are we going to do?
Look, guys,
how am I going to fix
this? I'm not saying that we don't ever cry or anything. Oh,
for sure. Or that we don't have our pity parties and like take a day where we're like, and just like cry ourselves to sleep and then lay in bed all day. Like
I've definitely done that.
Like, yeah, it happens.
And it's okay. It's normal. I'm just saying.
Got to pick yourself up.
Yeah.
And get back on the horse.
I just feel like we always are just like, it's whatever now. And just like, keep going, keep rolling dice. So,
yeah. I think once you like develop a mindset of nothing is going to stop me and I will figure it out, like you become dangerously unstoppable because it's like, well, okay, that sucked or that didn't go well or like, Yikes.
And on to the next.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for what's to come for us in 2026.
Me
I'm
too.
excited to really build upon this community and get to know y'all better. And
Yes.
thank you for being here. And thank you for wanting to grow with us and be a part of the Device Girls community.
Sorry, I was going to add, if you guys have any other questions you want to know, ask us and we are happy to answer.
Yeah.
So.
But especially for our healthcare peeps, like we love y'all.
Yes.
So proud of y'all. Thankful for what you guys are doing every day for the patients and people in our communities and in this world. And so keep going. 2026 is going to be a kicker year for all of us. So even though you will have lessons, it's going to be badass. So let's go, guys.
And one more thing I want to add. Listen, we love when people reach out to us and want to come on the pod. We would love to have you. We want to share your careers, your stories, all the things. So never be afraid to do so.
Yeah.
And I think 2026 is
going to
be great for us. So thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.